What's up everybody, blessed be, my name is Man and you're watching Witch in the Working, where we will be discussing all things witchy in and around, throughout and about, above, below, and beyond. So there's a lot involved in the wonderful world of witchcraft. Elaborate spells and rituals, trinkets of the trade, fancy tools and glorious robes, altars and regalia, gods, goddesses, and all of the beings and entities in between. The flash and spark and fireworks of the craft that draw so many of the beginners to this path, watching too many Harry Potter movies or Sabrina and attempting to glorify their lives with the same outcomes. Well, as most of us all know, keep searching and good luck with that. What you can expect from the craft is in fact things that are much better in every aspect of our human existence. Growth, balance, and completeness that the movies and bullshit portrayed in them can never equal up to. Even in the witchcraft world, you have to work out your magical muscles, so to speak. In this episode of Witch in the Working, we'll be talking about a few methods on how to do this. So go get your gym shorts on, throw on your pentagram sweatband, and let's get pumping. Roll intro. Welcome back everybody. So, just like most everything else in life, leading a magical existence takes practice, trial and error, dedication, perseverance, and hopefully some sprinkle of responsibility mixed in there. Nobody goes out and buys their first deck of tarot cards and becomes an avid tarot reader overnight. Nobody flawlessly slams through 6 pages of elaborate hexa, penta, tetra, rama, godaton ritual on their first try. No witch jumps on their broomstick and learns to fly it, at least on windy nights anyway, without getting a splinter or two in the process. And how many of you witchy witches out there can tell me you've never thrown your cloak of invisibility over your cat on accident and didn't realize it until after you've printed all the flyers and painstakingly duct taped them to the nearest 100 stop signs in a 3-mile radius of your covenstead? Okay, maybe the last one is just me, but the broomstick, I know you've crashed at least a dozen times. Anyways, seriously, so in our magical practice, there's a foundation that is laid that acts as some stability for our building blocks of magic that we accumulate throughout our witchy careers. In order for our ego-driven, selfish, emotionally dominated minds to begin to even be able to make room for magical practice and understanding, certain seeds need to be planted, and balanced maturity and common sense need plenty of space to begin to grow. There are many techniques that witches and other magical practitioners have used for centuries to achieve this tilling of the mind to prepare that sacred ground, making it ready for these special abilities and practices. The fact is, the clearer your mind, the more open to spiritually receiving you can make yourself, and most importantly, the easier you can let go of the ego, eliminating the pain body that so many of us have grown to be accustomed to. The easier and more flowing, so to speak, your magical practice and in fact your life will become. So in much simpler terms, no pain, no gain. Let me elaborate on that. When most people go to the gym, they're doing so to be healthier. As you exercise your muscles, they become stronger and more efficient. This in turn betters your cardiovascular system, your respiratory system, your digestive system, your nervous system, and all of your mini systems. So this same example holds true for your magical systems too. When you exercise your magical foundation, you in turn better your spell and ritual working system, your divination system, your channeling system, your energy raising system, your invocation system, and all of the other magical systems that you were inherently born with but need to exercise in order to help develop them and make them stronger and more efficient, just like your physical muscles. So let's dive into some of the techniques to help strengthen the core of your magical practice. Meditation is one of the oldest and most common techniques that make up the basis of this core foundation that I've been speaking about. Meditation is a practice where an individual uses a technique such as mindfulness or focusing the mind on a particular object, thought, or activity to train attention and achieve a mentally clear and emotionally balanced and stable state. Meditation is a practice that has been exercised for thousands of years and in many different cultures and religions. Almost all of these practices were aimed at a goal of enlightenment and self-realization. Meditation was in its earliest forms practiced by the ancient Hindus and throughout many Asian cultures all the way to the present day. Meditation has taken a new front seat in modern societies today, becoming a much embraced practice to help relieve stress, anxiety, depression, pain, and to help expand well-being, mindfulness, and even has been proven many times over to affect physical health in a positive manner. There are many methods and techniques with meditation, but most of the more common ones involve focusing on a single target with your mind as to eliminate what is called mind chatter that everyone suffers from, especially in this hectic world we live in today. Mind chatter is when your mind doesn't let you focus on one thing for very long. Our mind is always going, it's always chattering and giving us messages, whether positive or negative. When we try and focus on one thought and concentrate on just one particular thing, it's only a matter of a few seconds and our mind will begin to drive us in a different direction. Go ahead, try it. Close your eyes and imagine an apple in your mind's eye. Go ahead and hold that image for the next 10 seconds. And go. Okay, so if you were able to do this and not have another image or a voice in your head start telling you something or try to distract you, congratulations, you did very well, better than most of your fellow populace of humanity. Being able to focus your attention on one thing and relieve yourself of this mind chatter is called mindfulness. One of the most common techniques for meditation and remedying this mind chatter is the following. Sit in a nice comfortable position. In my opinion, you should always try and meditate sitting up in some manner, as those who tend to meditate laying down, such as myself, can have problems staying awake. You can sit in silence or even play some soothing music in the background. Something with no words though, as words can force your mind to become busy. Close your eyes and relax. Let all of your tension of the day go from your muscles. Now, focus on your breathing. In and out. In and out. Don't change your breathing or try and control it. Just focus on it. However you naturally breathe, just be conscious of it, going in and out. Breathing in and breathing out. That's it. Keep your focus on it. In a few seconds, your mind's going to switch gears and maybe force you to start thinking of something different. Maybe the meeting you had today at work, or maybe that you're so proud of little Sally for wiping her own butt today, or maybe that your boyfriend is such a jerk, or whatever reason. Regardless, at that point, very gently be conscious and realize your child self and his or her mind chatter has stepped in and taken over. Say to yourself, oh, I'm no longer conscious and focusing on my breathing. That's okay, no judgment, I'm good with that, but I'm going to now step away from the child self who's distracting me for attention, and I'm going to go back to focusing on my breathing. In and out, in and out. This cycle will in fact repeat playing itself over and over again. It's important to realize and know that this is not a battle with yourself and you're not trying to win. It's an exercise in learning control. Over time, your 10 seconds of concentration and focusing on your breathing will turn into a full minute, and soon after that, a few minutes. Your mind muscles will grow stronger and stronger. This technique and exercise is so very important in our magical practice because we're in fact exercising and conditioning our minds to focus with intent and purity, not letting polluted thoughts interfere with our visualizations and concentrations that we utilize when working spells, magic, and ritual. It also helps clear channels of the mind and exercise our abilities to open up and receive from other external and internal sources that we practice with regularly. A great example of this is channeling. Many of us practice what is a method of channeling called drawing down the moon or drawing down the sun. This is especially a Wiccan practice where a man or woman open up their minds to receive and accept energy and messages from the god or goddess and relays thoughts and messages to themselves or others in a group. The stronger your mindfulness, the clearer and stronger the message is received. Another method of meditation is almost the same as the last, the big difference being that instead of focusing on your breathing, you would focus on an object in front of you with your eyes open. For instance, a candle or a statue. The same method is at play here, where you would concentrate solely on this imagery, whatever it may be, and then any thoughts or mind chatter that enters your mind and interrupts your concentration on this particular object, you would very gently acknowledge the interruption without judgment, return to your focus. There are many methods to meditation, but I completely recommend these techniques as they tie hand in hand with strengthening magical practice. Okay, another very, very important, if not the most important practice I want to discuss is visualization and concentration. Visualization is the practice of strengthening your mind's eye to hold an image as clearly as possible and ultimately manipulate this astrally created object into a complete and functioning astral inhabitant, so to speak. Concentration is just the strength to be able to hold this image as long as possible without mind chatter and interruption. This is a little different than meditation because in this practice, you actually are focusing on an item that you create in your mind. For instance, that apple I spoke about in the beginning of the video, and you are holding the image in your mind's eye, your imagination, so to speak, as long as you can before the mind chatter and interruptions from the child's self I spoke about earlier begin to interfere. An easy way to practice this is to actually take a physical object and look at it for a minute and study in every corner and curve. Then close your eyes and rebuild the image in your head as best as possible. If you happen to forget a piece, open your eyes, look real quick, re-examine, and then close them and continue building. Once you have the object rebuilt in your mind's eye, try and hold it there for as long as you can. Part 2 of this exercise, after you can hold the image without interruption for, say, 15 seconds, is to build the image and then rotate it in your mind's eye. Move it around to explore all angles and sides of it. Once you can do this, you're really trucking along. Try and build things and practice with items that are not physically in front of you. Figure on something in your mind and build it from scratch. Hold it as long as you can. Spin it, see it, smell it. This is an extremely powerful practice and in fact is the basis of all magic. Without strong visualization, your magical practice can be mediocre at best. You need good visualization and concentration skills in spell working, ritual, and any other magical practice that involves mind work, which is just about everything. The next practice I'd like to talk about that most all magical practitioners will exercise in one form or another is called grounding and centering. Grounding and centering, although two different techniques, are often placed together as one cohesive exercise. Grounding is the practice of consciously tying your energy directly in sync with that of the earth below your feet. As humans, we tend to get flighty and in essence lose touch with our natural rhythmic pulse between us and the earth and land itself. We all share a common energy, humans, plants, animals, the earth itself, and much more. However, we especially share the energy of everything else like ourselves that is born, lives, dies, and is born again. Connecting with the pulse and vibrations of Earth will align our vibration and help strengthen and secure our personal energy back in tune with that of our supporting ecosystem. Centering is the act of organizing and balancing our personal energy within and around ourselves. Again, there are many methods to this madness. Some involve the chakras and other simpler methods involve energy channeling and relaxation methods. Regardless of the method used, it always involves visualization. A common grounding and centering technique I like to utilize involves sitting quietly. Again, don't lay down, try and keep sitting up. Now, visualize a light blue moving energy, alive with vibrance, coming down from above and into your head. See this blue energy spreading in and around your head, face and neck. As it envelops you within and without, the muscles in your head, face and neck begin to relax. Then the energy continues to spread down into your shoulders, back, and chest. And as it does, these muscles also relax in response. Then visualize the energy moving into your arms, hands, and into your belly and lower back. Again, as the energy envelops these areas, they too completely relax. Next, this energy continues on into your buttocks, thighs, calves, and feet, all completely relaxed. You're now completely relaxed and centered, with all energy centers balanced and vibrating, pulsing and active. Finally, this energy continues from the base of your spine into the ground beneath you, and as it does, it spreads out into the earth below as roots, therefore grounding you as effectively as anyone can be grounded. Congrats, you are now ground and centered. Again, the key is visualization and intent. Grounding and centering can be practiced before anything you do, magically and mundanely. It's an excellent technique to keep yourself gathered, balanced, and focused on whatever endeavor you're currently staring down in your journey ahead. Finally, we come to the last practice and exercise that I recommend everyone who walks a magical path to journey with and utilize in life moving forward. This practice, in fact, utilizes all of the other practices we just spoke about in this video. We as Wiccans and witches use this quite a bit in our systems of magic, and this is the exercise and practice of pathworking. There's a strong resemblance between a guided meditation and a pathworking. However, there's a big difference. A guided meditation has a beginning and an end that is completely dictated and laid out before you like a book to follow and not stray from the path. You go from point A to point B without any considered self-exploration or experimentation. A pathworking is almost the same thing, except it encourages the participant to explore and free think while along the path and destinations, so that the participant in actuality experiences circumstances not necessarily being recited by the narrator leading the pathworking and storyline. For instance, in a guided meditation, the narrator may bring you to a cave entrance where he then tells you to go inside and sit by the fire, where you begin to feel warm and relaxed. In a pathworking, this same circumstance, the narrator would say you finally arrive at the mouth of a cave. Step inside and explore this cave, leaving the thoughts, exploration, and visualization up to the querent. Many times, guided meditations are utilized as a means to an end for something, whilst pathworking is really a means to self-growth and spiritual development to be discovered and experienced differently per individual. Pathworkings are truly amazing in Wiccan and witchcraft practice because along with meditation, visualization, and grounding and centering, they allow for us to experience and interact with many different worlds and beings that we otherwise would not be able to access from our physical place of existence. Our minds are the most powerful things in the world. Unfortunately or fortunately, however you see it, we only are guesstimated to use approximately 10% of our brains and minds. It's in this 90% that, in this witch's opinion, where all of the secrets to the rest of the existence lies. All of the things we see as impossible and unrealistic are in fact very real and very possible, but unattainable as they are just out of reach until we are responsible enough to embrace these special talents, beings, and worlds that lay very much alive outside of our own. Until further notice, we are blind to them, and probably for a good damn reason considering how we treat each other and the world we live in. Wielding this sort of power, we would surely end ourselves. Pathworkings give us the ability and means to visit, work with, and communicate with beings, realms, elementals, demons, angels, gods, and goddesses. It's in fact only limited by the walls of the human mind. What makes pathworkings amazing is that these walls can in fact be scaled or broken to further our exploration and knowledge of what lies in the depths of the astral. The astral is infinite and holds the secrets to anything and everything beyond what we can even conceive in our 10% of cranial usage. It's more than just our imagination, so much more, and this I can promise you is true. Pathworking is in fact the key to most of our self-discovery and beyond in witchcraft, and is one of the most important practices as a witch. I would say in my 30 years as a witch, I only truly learned about pathworkings and experienced them as a Gardnerian 20 years ago. In those 20 years, I can honestly attest more than half of my experiences, knowledge, wisdom, and growth as a witch and human being has come from journeying with different pathworkings over the years. I cannot stress enough how amazing and important these journeys are, and recommend to everyone to please look into these and experience them. I have a few pathworkings I've linked below, with more to follow in the future as I produce these videos. The two below are in fact tied in with my Fairy Realms video, and the other is a journey that helps connect with the elementals of air. In both pathworkings, you're only taken so far, and then you're given the reins to steer your own destiny and decisions. Eventually, once I have enough, I will create a playlist and/or series on just pathworking so that you too can utilize them and experience them and grow with me. Okay, everybody. I think this is just about going to wrap it up for this episode of Witch in the Working. I surely hope you learned a thing or two from this video. Do you have any experience with pathworkings or any other methods I discussed? If so, let us know in the comments below. What techniques do you use? Please share with everyone, as this is a wide range subject that I'm sure is just about infinite in its techniques alone. I love you guys and gals. Please hit that subscribe button and ring that little bell to be reminded of future videos. Give me a thumbs up if you like this video, or a thumbs down. I can take it, I think. Anyway, just do a thumbs up just in case. Nah, whatever. Do what you want. See you next week, and blessed be.